Hi, I'm Melissa from Melissa's Vibes. And how are you guys tonight? Well, of course, I already know that. No, I'm just kidding. I was just going to tell you some things that happened this week. I had a lady in my store, and she was talking to me about different things, and I said, I know that something's bothering you. And she said, yeah, it kind of is. My dad's anniversary to the day he died is tomorrow, and I'm worried or kind of upset about it. And I looked at her and I said, I could see it like coming out of her eye. I was like, does he have a larger nose than you and dark eyes and dark hair? And she said, yes, he does. And I said, well, I can see him, and everything. And she's like, oh, really? And we were out talking outside my store. And I said, did you have a dog, a gray dog? It was about, medium high, you know, it was about a medium-sized dog. And she said, yeah, we had, a husky, a gray husky. And I said, but it didn't have regular hair. It had like, kind of like callus hair or something. And she said, yeah, yeah. And I said, well, the dog, I can see too. And then I asked her, I said, how do you feel about your dad? And she said, well, I get really upset, when it comes around his anniversary date for his death. And I said, I said, your dad's probably like my dad. When my dad died, I told him I loved him so many times that there's no way that he didn't know I loved him when he passed. And he wouldn't want me upset at all. Not one day would my dad have ever wanted me upset with him passing on. And I said, that's the way your dad feels to me. Like he wouldn't want you upset and everything. So she said, yeah, and we talked a little more, and that was one of my instances of being able to see and help someone, because that's really what I do. I try to help people. I try to read their cards and tell them, the conclusion of what the cards are saying, and I give them a stone, a crystal, to help them, and it's free and everything. So I really try to help people. And I know some people say they don't believe this, they don't believe in psychics or anything, but there are people that know things. And it's time for everybody to open their eyes and wake up, because we're out there, and some of us can feel your energy, some of us can see things, feel things. There are. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll tell you more, because I am starting to really get into the history of the town where my store is. My store is in Villisca, Iowa, which is known for the axe murderer house and the mystery of how it came about and what happened, to the people and who might have done it. It is still a mystery. And I am really getting into that. And a lot of those people that go to visit the axe murderer house come into my store where I do readings, because it's all kind of in the same vibe. So it's been real interesting. It really has. And you guys should subscribe so you could, hear more things about, some stuff that's going on. Okay, well, you guys have a nice night. I'll see you again soon. And take care. Okay, goodbye.